Hey guys, and welcome to another movie review. And I'm just gonna be honest with you guys for a second. This one nearly affected my overall opinion of it, and that was because I've tried to edit and record this so many times. It gets frustrating after a while, especially when the computer isn't working and the files aren't. For some reason, they're just coming up corrupt, but hopefully I got it figured out. One can only hope. So hopefully, if this video ends up getting out there, um, people will like it and it'll work. I guess that's the main thing. Anyway, I do apologize if this time if the resolution does seem like it's a little off. I am using the webcam on my laptop, which is not the best, but it's something right now until I get a better camera upgrade. Um, anyway, just gonna go right into it. Green Hornet. Never seen the TV serial that was on long ago because I wasn't alive back then, and I didn't care to really look it up now because it's not really something I was that interested in. However, I have decided for the longest time I was not going to watch this movie because I'm not a Seth Rogen fan. Say what you want, get upset as you will. Um, not a huge fan of his. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You may disagree with mine, and that's fine. But I just don't particularly think that he's a very funny actor, and I don't think he's very talented across the board. So for the longest time, I didn't really see this movie. So when I finally did see it, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I'm gonna point out instead of kind of like going through it in a very concise way, I'm just gonna jump back and forth between the positives and the negatives. Um, the negatives, I do think that the casting of Seth Rogen and Jay Chow, however he pronounces it, I've actually heard it both ways. I think between Jay and Seth, I think the casting could have been a little bit better. Positive is there was a lot. They looked like they had good on-screen chemistry, so that was pretty good. Negatives, some of the dialogue in the movie was very laughably bad, especially some of the in-between bits where it was just small talk and it wasn't really going anywhere. 'Cause, I mean, even small talk in movies can go somewhere and it can be at least somewhat entertaining. But here, especially when it was involving Cameron Diaz, I felt like it was extremely pointless. Um, Positives, I felt that this movie was actually entertaining. Pretty much all the major points throughout it, except for a few lulls. So get right into the story without any huge spoilers. You have your villain, uh, Chudnovsky, played by Christopher Waltz, who I think is an outstanding actor. Um, I do think he gets a little too cartoony once you get past the halfway point. I was very shocked to see Edward Furlong. He had like a 20-minute cameo in this, and I was like, it's a long way down from American History X. But anyway, um, the supporting cast I felt was really, really, really good in this. It was painfully good, actually. Cameron Diaz was good. Edward James Olmos played a good mentoring role to Brett Reed, aka Seth Rogen, after his father died in movie. Um, I don't believe that spoiler that was in it. I believe that was in a teaser. Um, the villain himself, I'm gonna call him not so much backup, but I did like him. There wasn't as much focus on him. And most of all, I felt like as far as like the settings, and especially the Black Hornet mobile, uh, the Black Beauty, um, that was awesome. Anyone who's seen the MythBusters episode of involving the Green Hornet was pretty cool. Seth Rogen on that one show was pretty good. So while I got to come out and say it, I had this movie actually helped me to perceive cinema very differently. I originally would get an opinion on it based on just hearsay and um, overall opinion just from the look of it, and watching this movie actually helped me um, look at cinema in a whole new way, instead of getting upset with it because it doesn't meet my criteria. Just you gotta try to remove yourself out of the equation and just enjoy it for what it is. And this was a very good movie. Was it an excellent superhero movie? No. Was it entertaining? Absolutely. I will say for on TV it was running about 2.5 hours, so I could sit, which means it's probably roughly about a 2 hour runtime. I think this movie would have been a lot better just an hour and a half, just based on the kind of person Seth Rogen is. I don't think he does that well at very long movies. Not to mention that the pacing at times felt like it was a little slow. However, it was a decent movie. I will say to you, if you're a massive fan of the Green Hornet series, you're probably not going to like this because it does differ into new territory. However, if you're looking for a fun, refreshing movie to watch, an interesting new take on superheroes and vigilantism, I recommend this one. So, the final verdict. Well, I felt the casting was questionable at times. It ironically did work at times. I felt that while the pacing and the runtime was a little long, it almost kind of makes sense in a weird way. The plot was a little weak, but it was also very interesting at the same time. There was some stupid, there was a lot of cool. So everything was a good balance, and that's what I felt like this was. So I will give this my final rating. I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5 stars. If it was a little shorter, little more focus on making the overall dynamic between Reed and Chudnovsky a little bit better, just little bits and pieces here and there. If it was done that way differently, I would have possibly listed this higher, but unfortunately I can't. So 3 out of 5 stars, which is not bad. I think 3 out of 5 is I don't know. I think that's, if we're going in fifth, that's what, 60% out of 100, which isn't bad. I mean, if I saw this playing again, I'd probably watch it. But anyway, what do you all think? I was actually pleasantly surprised with this one, and it helped me change my whole perception on viewing movies as a whole, and just kind of jump into it and try to experience it as one huge adventure, as opposed to being the snarky critic that just gets their opinion before they watch it. So to that I say thank you. But until next review, and next one's going to be another one I was not expecting to like, but I actually did. So stay tuned on that one, and until next time, I will see you all later.